Hey everyone, welcome to our full product review for the AORUS X7 DT V6. To start things off, we should go over the specs of the device, kicking it off with the CPU, which is an Intel i7-6820HQ. The GPU inside is the GTX 1080 with 8GB of GDDR5X RAM. The memory inside is 32GB of DDR4 at 2400 MHz, and the device does support up to 64GB. Storage included is a 512GB M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD and 1TB 7200 RPM hard disk drive. The Wi-Fi and Bluetooth inside is the killer gaming network LAN with integrated wireless 802.11ac plus Bluetooth 4.1 on an M.2. Powering the unit is a Li-Polymer 94.24WH with a 230-watt AC adapter. Also included is the built-in HD webcam above the 17.3-inch QHD 120Hz wide viewing angle anti-glare matte type LCD screen at the resolution rate of 2560 by 1440 with G-Sync technology. On the left-hand side of the device is an Ethernet port, two covered ports, one USB 3.0 port, and two 3.5mm headphone and microphone ports. On the right-hand side is an SD card reader, a USB 3.0 port, a Type-C USB 3.1 port, an HDMI port, and one mini display port. And on the back side, there is one USB 3.0 port and your AC adapter port for power. The built-in keyboard feels sturdy enough with minimal amount of flex, and the keys have great type response while in use. The backlight program for the keys included has many options for customization if you choose to tweak it to your liking, or it can be toggled off completely. The touchpad has a faint blue eagle on it that will pick up light from certain angles and looks pretty neat in my opinion. The touchpad also has a very responsive and smooth matte feeling that's easy to use and is very responsive. The left and right clicks are built into the bottom of the touchpad and are not separate buttons. The screen angle can be opened to around 130 degrees and has good enough viewing angles from the TN display. There also have been reports of this display having lines in it, and we can see them faintly when we get insanely close to the screen, but at normal viewing distances, it's not so apparent. Included in the box with the X7 are the included power cables. There's also a few booklets included that cover warranty information and a user guide. There's also some optional laptop feet that can be added to it to make it a little taller, and a USB flash drive included with 8GB of capacity that have utility programs installed to it. The overall weight of the laptop with its power cable comes to a little bit over 9 pounds if you're looking to take this device on the go with you. The battery life of the DT while unplugged with 50% screen brightness with the power saver settings is around 2.5 hours of use time under light workloads. And here's a simple quality test using the included microphone and webcam of the DT. Temperature levels of the device while under gaming loads heat up notably around the rear sides and the back where the two vents exhaust heats from both the side and the rear, and no notable areas of the keyboard heat up where your hands might be resting, which is a good sign, and you can even see where the fans intake their air with those cool dark spots at the top. As for the audible output of the fan's noise while gaming, we first took readings at the front of the device where you might be sitting and had readings around 49 decibels. Then we moved our reader right up to the front of the device and had readings at around 57. And then by the rear corner of the device where the fans exit their exhaust heat, we had readings of around 66 decibels. As for our benchmarks, we started things off with Firestrike like we normally do and had a score of 15,906, which is better than 91% of all devices, which is a good score as this is a very powerful laptop. Next, we moved on to our Cinebench score and ran OpenGL first and averaged 130 FPS. And as for our CB score for the CPU, we got 775. You can see on the left how it compares to other CPUs. Our next test was with Crystal Disk. The SSD read at a speed of 1889 and had a write speed of 1566, which is pretty quick. And as for the hard disk drive, its read speed was 132.6 and its write speed was 127.5, which is pretty averagely quick for a good hard disk drive. Moving on to our real-world testing, we started things off with Gears of War 4. We tested everything at the 2K resolution. We ran it on medium, high, and on ultra, and had FPS rates of 110, 103, and 81. The GPU's temperature got up to 80 degrees Celsius, and the CPU was at 72 degrees. Our next test was then Grand Theft Auto 5. We ran it maxed out with no MSAA and averaged 110 FPS. The next test we ran was with the advanced settings on and averaged 84 FPS. And then finally, we turned the advanced settings off and ran it with MSAA at ×4 and averaged 84 FPS again. The GPU's temperature and the CPU's temperature were both at 78 degrees Celsius. Our third test was Rise of the Tomb Raider. We ran it on very high with FXAA, SMAA, and SSAA. We got 88 FPS, 80 FPS, and 58. Our GPU's temperature was at 80 degrees Celsius, and our CPU's temperature was at 74. And for our final test, we decided to run Dirt Rally on Ultra with MSAA at ×2, 4, and 8. We averaged 117, 114, and 94 FPS. The GPU's temperature was at 80 degrees, and the CPU's was at 78. If you're looking to put a personal touch on your machine, be sure to check out our extensive customization options before checkout, including upgrades available to RAM, storage, cooling, overclocking, custom paint, hydro and graphic wraps, laser etching, and much, much more. If you'd like to take a closer look at any of the specific BIOS menu screens, make sure that you pause the video on any of the ones that you would like to take a closer look at. If not, always be sure to check out the product link in the description or leave us a comment down below if you have any questions for us here at Exotic PC. I've been Andrew, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for future product overviews and reviews.